Okay, so after the 2 hours of us blabbing at you, who's ready for some advocacy? Like, are we a little gassed up for this? Well, not yet, because I got a whole PowerPoint about what you can do for advocacy. So, yes. All right. So what we're going to do, we've talked about causes, we've talked about data, we've talked about legislative priorities, all that you can find in your packets in some form. We're going to upload all those presentations a little bit later today on our website. So if you go to alaskahousing-homeless.org, click the advocacy link. If you go to the agenda for this event, you'll see the PowerPoint, a PDF of the PowerPoint right next to that. So we'll get to that in a couple of hours. So advocacy opportunities, let's talk about what we can do at this event. So I'm going to list off several different things here, so to put them on your radar, so you can participate in these things over the next 2 days. The first is the starting point for advocacy is learning, right? We're having this great discussion. We were just commenting that this is so much better than previous conferences because we're having like a dialogue with each other. That's so cool. Usually I just like come up here and talk, and then I think I have this big finish and I'll stop, and it's just like silence, and I'm like, okay, you know, like going back and sitting down, and it probably goes over the head. So we do have a great agenda lined up. The first half of this first day is really about like, let's get us ready to advocate. We're going to have a little bit of an advocacy training from some of our Matsu Valley partners in a minute as well. And then we're going to go into a lunch. And then most of y'all have constituent appointments that start in this early afternoon into the evening, and then tomorrow as well. So one, I want to say thank you for setting up those appointments. We sent out that email to say, all right, call your legislator, and then I didn't hear anything for like 24 hours. I started to freak out, and I started calling all you to do it. But it sounds like you guys actually did a really good job. We're going to get in already with scheduled appointments to over half of the legislature in the next day and a half. So that's incredible. And if you don't have a scheduled appointment with one of your legislators, open your packet. There's a whole list of who legislators are by community and where their office is. Feel free to just show up and talk to their staff. They may be in a meeting, but there's going to be a staffer there that you can talk about these issues. Leave behind a folder. Emily has folders over there for you. And do the work. So this afternoon, too, we're going to have a training session with Collaborative Solutions called Landlord Engagement. Are they in the room right now? No, not yet. Okay, well, they're going to be here talking about landlord engagement from 1 to 2:30. Really cool training. It's part one. The second part's going to kick off tomorrow. Then we're going to go into a break at 2:30, and then there's going to be, I mentioned earlier, a presentation from Mike about rapid rehousing and the cool stuff they're doing up in Fairbanks about that. And then a really neat presentation from ICA. Holly Blood is here to talk about some of the cool resources that are available to you, what data is kind of telling us. You know, we're kind of data wonks around here, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't think communities are really accessing online that you can do at a local level. Tomorrow, I'm really excited. We're going to start it off with talk about our rural-urban housing connections. Chris Kolarok is here. He'll be giving a presentation. Then Scott's going to give an update about kind of going forward, continuum of care stuff. An amazing equity training with Julia Terry from Choosing Our Roots tomorrow. And then probably my favorite part, we're going to start talking about youth and all the cool youth homelessness demonstration stuff that's happening that afternoon. So Carletta and Dash are going to talk about YHCP Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program. And then our youth that are here, shout out to our youth. Are we over there? Yeah, all right. We have a bunch of really amazing folks here to do a panel and have a discussion. And I said, just do whatever you want. So looking forward to seeing what that's looking like. So, yeah, and then I forgot to mention, actually, I'm not going to mention that yet because I have a slide for it. So meet with your legislators. So that's our number one key for this advocacy day, but it doesn't end there. So you did have those meetings. If you don't know if you have a meeting scheduled, we have a calendar right over here at the table. So you can ask them, hey, is there a meeting with, say, like Senator Kawasaki or someone? And then you can figure that out. And there's community-specific leave-behinds and the state of Alaska fact sheet available as well over here. But another piece is we don't want advocacy to end at this event here. Y'all are leaders in your communities, and so we want you to bring this back to your community and have conversations with multiple stakeholders. One cool thing that in our work is working in the Youth Homelessness Demonstration Program. We are required to work with like 1 billion different stakeholders, whether it be like local law enforcement, school districts, OCS, yada, yada. And it's really cool to see those conversations happen, and we're all learning from each other, some of the complexities of our work. We want you to do the same thing about your field. Back in your home communities. And so you can download all these materials. You can have town halls, forums, talk about your next coalition meeting. But just keep spreading the word and pointing people to advocate over at the Hill. It's great that we have this turnout here, but we want to amplify that and megaphone that as well. That's a photo from one of our YHDP meetings. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. So don't be shy. Tomorrow, we are going to have a film studio downstairs all day, thanks to the folks from 360 North over here. And we're going to be recording video testimonials. So we don't want this campaign to end right now. We want to continue sending the message and talking about, why housing and homelessness is an important issue in all of your communities. And so in your folder, you'll see a form that's called the video testimony form, basically asking you to put your name, organization, community on it, and then a small space, purposely small space at the bottom for you to kind of prepare your testimony for it. We're looking for less than a minute testimony for each person. So 20 seconds is fine, 30 seconds is fine. We don't want 5 minutes because I got to edit you down to 1 minute and I'm going to cut out all the stuff that you want to say in it. So literally like 5-6 sentences of like, I believe housing and homelessness is important because, and make it specific to maybe your region. Like we run out of prevention dollars every single year before the grant cycle runs out, and I'm having to turn my back to people because of it, And so just do something, get creative with it. When you have that form, Emily's going to be walking around tomorrow saying, have you done your video testimony? Come on downstairs, come on downstairs. You'll leave that form with the 360 North people, and then we'll do all the editing and stuff in the future for it. It's kind of a cool thing. To testify at House Finance. So I don't know how this lined up, but House Finance decided that they were going to just take testimony on the mental health bill and the operating budget starting today, first day of our conference. So that's awesome. The schedule for this starts tonight at 5 o'clock, and they're kind of doing it by community. If you're leaving early and you don't see your community there, you can always call in and provide testimony at a legislative information office, or just show up and give it anyways, because they do off-net hours anyways, so they aren't going to say no. Kind of the rules around that is you have 2 minutes max to present, so be concise, and maybe you can use some of your video testimony that you're writing down and then add a little bit to it. But don't feel scared to say, hey, I'm in town for the Housing and Homelessness Conference where there's 100 people here from all across the state advocating on behalf of our clients. So just take that information that Scott provided about the budget and talk about the importance of those funds and that those are continue to be present. Tomorrow, we also have a lunch and learn at the Capitol. There's not going to be space for everybody, and we are providing lunch here. But if you are interested and you want to come over and listen to Jasmine and I talk for another hour, I don't blame you if you don't. But we're going to be talking about housing and homeless issues, kind of similar to our presentation in the morning this morning with a little bit added flair. We're going to address weatherization stuff in there. So Chris Collerock's going to be doing it. Kate Skovic's going to be helping out as well. So that's an option as well. Yeah, we're hoping that we get good legislative or staff to show up, but I wouldn't mind seeing the lanyards and the buttons and the thing. Oh, speaking of the lanyards and buttons, one, how cool are they? Right? They're pretty cool. They're square buttons. But when you're going on your legislative visit, please wear those. We want to have that visible presence, so people are laying wow, there's a lot of people here about housing and homelessness. That's so great. So make sure to wear those. Send a postcard to your legislator and take some home for others. So in each of your folders, you'll have one postcard in there. We have 400 postcards here, and I'll walk down and print more off and have them if you want them. But this is really cool. Catholic Social Services actually did this last year, and so we stole their idea and did it this year here at the state conference. But really, same thing. On the back side, it says, I believe in homeless services because ... Be specific, just really a couple sentences, put your name on it. All you have to do is write your legislator's name here. If you fill them out here, we'll take them and we'll actually bring them over to the Capitol to be dispersed. But if you want to take some of these home, Emily has them over there. Raise your hand, Emily. Yep. And you want to have like folks fill them out. All you need to do is pop a stamp on it, write the name, and that'll actually mail to it. So mail to the Capitol directly. I know that Melissa's going to take some home and take them to an 8th grade class that wants to fill it out. That's cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, great idea. Sign the poster. So there's a poster back here. Nobody has currently signed this yet because I put a sign next to it. So there's a big fat marker right next to it. We want to fill that up with your signatures and your organization under it. So don't be rude and take up half of the space or whatnot, but try to evenly space it all around the map. We're going to take a nice high-res photo of this and do like a social media, like, Alaska cares about housing, people, and we'd like to see a lot of signatures on that. That's so easy. Everybody can do that. That should be done today. Keep up to date. Okay. All right, we gave you the Wi-Fi password when we started. We were like, do we want people on their phones or what the whole time? But I did it for this reason. So this is so easy. Who has Twitter or Facebook? Who has Twitter or Facebook? Everybody does. By the end, I'm going to know how many of you actually are listening because I'm going to get notifications if you follow us on our Facebook or Twitter accounts. Super easy. These are the addresses. I'm going to leave it up there. And by the end of our exercise that we're doing in about like 5-10 minutes, I better see some notifications on this phone. And then also you can sign up for our e-newsletter where we will be sending out regular updates, or if there's like, hey, we need everybody to write an email now about this or whatnot, make sure you sign that up. And then when you do follow us and you see our stuff, help us make a phone the message by liking, sharing, and retweeting that. It really helps us reach audiences that we don't normally reach. I haven't gotten a notification yet.
Maybe we're all
Come on.
You have to read both.
Okay, all right. I'll put it on the screen in a minute. So, another way to advocate is to help people advocate. So we do board elections every year at our conference. There's a ballot in your folders here. All you have to do, we have 3 open spots this year, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people that are running for a board seat. You can get bios on all these individuals on the web address that is linked on the top of that. It's just on our address. It's on the Advocacy Day website. Do take some time to read. These are volunteer spots. So, these folks do just amazing work. Advocating, planning, setting policy for all the things that we do in the COC. But please do, take a look at that, read their descriptions, and vote for 3 individuals on that page. And then turn in the ballots to our registration table over here sometime before noon tomorrow. So we're going to be reminding you the whole time. Several of these folks are here. So I don't know, are you here? Raise your hand if your name's on the ballot this year. So have it, stand up. All right, so yes. So track down Dave, Foote, and Ice and talk to them about why they want to join the board too, if you want to get to know more. And then for the folks that couldn't make it, definitely go on and read their profiles as well. They took some time to make statements. Provide us feedback. We've been asking for feedback this whole time. This is our first year doing this, so we don't expect to be perfect out of the gates. We already got a lot of ideas for next year going forward. But we will be sending out a survey tomorrow afternoon. This is very important that you participate in that survey because it's also going to have questions about your legislative visits. That's going to be really important to us, such as, did your legislator ask for a piece of information that you did not have? What is it? So we can connect with them.
In my meetings in Homer, people love to give me suggestions of all the people I should reach out to. And sometimes I'm like, could you just write it down? So like even the graphics that people thought of today, I would just take notes so that they can have it because it's a lot for them to remember and I just can relate.
Yeah, I literally cannot remember 5 minutes ago. So yeah. Okay. Okay, so brace yourself because this begins now. So we are going to take 5 minutes between now and the next session that we have, the advocacy training. You all have a postcard. We have pens over here. I want you to start filling out your first postcard. If you need more postcards, we'll walk around with them. Roscoe, what's up?
I have a question. I'm probably the only one in this room that doesn't know, but I have my first meeting of 4 today with the legislator in 20 minutes, and I don't know where I'm supposed to be going.
I will show you in a second. So, all right, so fill out your cards. Our volunteers over here are going to help pass some more out and collect them. Sign the poster over there. Let's take 5 to 10 minutes to do that, and let's get going. And I want to see some notifications on this phone, so I'm going to put that back on.